Welcome to some and welcome back to a few. I ramble review, it's what I do. And today I'm here with Dividing Eden and Eden Conquered. Both of these books are by Joel Chabanero. I am not sure how to pronounce their name, but I adored both of these books. The first book, Dividing Eden, follows the story of two twins, Karis and Andreas, who never expected to sit on the throne of their kingdom. But when their brother, the crowned prince, as well as their father, the king, end up dead, they are forced into the trials of virtuous succession to see which of them would be the proper ruler for Eden. Despite a particularly close bond between the twins, they find themselves at odds as political intrigue gets involved and people's motivations cannot be trusted. We are somewhat introduced to the magic system of the world in the first book. Very few characters have any sort of magical leaning. The only people in this world seeming to have magic being the seers, a guild known for having a connection and ability to call the wind, as well as an ability to tell the future via visions. The wind calling thing is probably the more important of those two talents, oddly, as all of the kingdom's power and thus ability to keep the lights on and keep the monsters in the dark at bay is based on the wind. So, as Dividing Eden came to an end, the twins are physically and emotionally separated. From this point on, there are spoilers, majorly for Dividing Eden, not as much for Eden Conquered, as I cannot talk about Eden Conquered without spoiling Dividing Eden just a bit. That said, all spoilers are fairly minor, save one, which I will hold my hand up and say, just fast forward to where my hand's down if you don't want to know about it. Princess Kreas is thought to be dead at the end of book 1 and is not. Okay, major spoiler out of the way. That said, in Eden Conquered, we get to learn more about the history of our kingdom as well as how the seers function as a guild. We get to learn more about what actually happened when the king and the crown prince were assassinated. We get to finally uncover what everyone's character motivations are. And the book ends in a way I'm really satisfied with. And despite not having read the second novella that was released online, I only got to read the novella that was attached to the back of this paperback. So I don't know if maybe it would have given me a little bit more. I will say I definitely think this world has more that could be explored in it, but all primary plot threads and questions have been answered regarding who is going to sit on the throne of Eden. Why were people acting as they were? And what led us to this situation in the first place? I really do hope the author will revisit this world one day. I would love to know more about how the ruler of Eden goes forward with their rule. I would love to know more about the seers and potentially about how they are continuing to function beyond the point that the story ends. I would also really like to explore more of these beasts in the darkness that are so attracted to when the lights go out and attracted to darkness in human hearts as well. As well as how they proliferate? Language? I don't know. Cannot pronounce things different. But how they become more numerous when the virtues are out of balance and what that really means for this kingdom that's getting back on its feet potentially. 4 out of 5 stars for both books. If you enjoy political intrigue in a fantasy setting, and you enjoy stories about sibling relationships, this is definitely worth checking out. I would say there are trigger warnings for violence in the novella that was at the back of this one, specifically trigger warnings for sexual misconduct. Have a wonderful evening. Bye!